Grab a little snack if you need to. Grab your headphones. Grab your journal so you can take some notes. And make sure you send this live to a friend who may need to heal from abandonment wounds and anxious attachments and just overall need to do some healing as well. We all need to do some healing. We all need to look at ourselves. We all need to have that moment of just like, yo, what's up? So let's wait for a few more people to get in. Go ahead and tap on the live to let more people know, because I am going to start coaching and teaching free coaching today, free therapy as always. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday is my schedule, but I'm thinking about coming back Monday through Sunday for a little bit to teach this course around emotional regulation, how to heal your abandonment wounds, how to heal your anxious attachment, avoidant attachments, all these attachment styles that make us feel stuck and disempowered in relationships, the abandonment wounds that makes us do really out of character, painful, hurtful things, and it makes us tolerate really low vibrational behavior because that's what we were given growing up. A lot of us grew up with very low vibrational parents. So let's wait for more people to get in, and we will get in, but have some of your questions ready. Start to think about your own experiences and relationships, some things that you feel stuck on. Start to think about some things that you want to ask, some things you need help with. Okay, so we will get into it. We'll get into it in a moment, but come in, take a deep breath. Release. This is going to be one of the biggest tools as you're healing your abandonment wound and anxious attachment, right? Because we get really impulsive sometimes when we're anxious. We make really impulsive, bad decisions when we get anxious. So breathing, hello UK, is going to be one of our biggest tools. Wait, am I about to make a bad decision because I'm anxious and I think the world is coming to an end right now? Because those, if you don't know, hi, my name is Kristen. I'm a life coach, intuitive coach, spiritualist. I don't know. I'm so many different things. It's hard to label me, and I don't really want to. I'm me. And I help people get to the other side of this journey, because the dark night of the soul, and when you first wake up, you can feel so overwhelmed. You can feel so deeply depressed, so anxious and upset. You can feel very lost. You can feel very like vulnerable and like what's real and what's not. When you start to recognize all these lies and things that happened when you were younger that wasn't the truth. And you know how your parents always say, I'll tell you when you get older. It's like, yo, I'm older. I've been older. What's up? Anyway, I help people get to that other side, and it's painful. It's scary to finally look at yourself. Okay? It's scary to finally look at yourself and say, wait, where am I the common denominator in all these toxic relationships? Because I know, I hear it from you guys a lot. You guys say, when I'm single, I feel like I'm confident and I got it together. When I'm single, everything's good. But the moment that I get into a relationship, I turn into the worst version. And I'm here to tell you, you were not confident when you were single. You just weren't being triggered. Okay? Your confidence should not be dependent on who's in your life or not. Confidence comes from within. And if someone is doing something intentionally to try to break your confidence down, why are we tolerating that? You see, these are the questions that I'm going to ask you when we do our coaching sessions together. And those of you that are going to sign up for my next Emerge program, which I have an Emerge program, which is a shadow work group therapy. It's a very intimate container, and we go deep. It's very vulnerable. Those of you that are in here that have taken my group course, you know we are there to work. We are there to finally be seen and heard, because that's what a lot of you guys complain about. You do. In the coaching sessions, I listen and I collect data from all the hundreds of people that I've coached, if not thousands at this point. And the thing is the same. I never was heard and seen in childhood. I never felt heard and seen. And then as an adult, you're still avoiding it. You're still running from confrontation. You're still not setting boundaries. You're still not using your voice. But you constantly are so upset in my sessions when we're talking about not being heard and seen. But we're still perpetuating that same flawed idea and belief about yourself that's ultimately keeping you stuck in this pattern of toxicity. And you are at the center of it. That's why the partners change, but the scenario and the experiences are the same. It may get a little bit better with each relationship because you're learning, even if you're not intentionally doing this work. But where a lot of you mess up is like you're in another relationship 1 month later, 2 weeks later. And if you're avoidant, you were already in a relationship before that other relationship ended. You were already emotionally cheating. A lot of you, if you identify with being a more avoidant and you kind of just disappear when things get tough and you need this validation and you go from relationship to relationship, you're a serial dater, you know what I'm talking about? You like that honeymoon stage. And then when it gets real and the person actually wants to go deep with you and get to know you and wants you to get to know them, that's when you bounce. That's when things get too, and you don't say it because you have a fear of talking and speaking. You have a fear. So you just don't say nothing. And then finally you hit the fan when it's too late and you already have checked out and you already probably have emotionally started cheating with somebody else because you need that validation and you used to get it from this person. But as soon as they showed the flaw, as soon as the mask slipped a little bit, you just lost all interest because you love the shiny things. You like when it's good. But then as soon as they show something, it reminds you of childhood, your mom, your dad or something. And then you don't want them no more. And this is why the anxious attachment always feels disposed of. And this is why a lot of times the avoidant is narcissistic and the anxious is empathic. Doesn't always have to be that way. It's not always that way, but it is very common for the narcissistic person to be more avoidant and the anxious person to be more empathic. And the anxious person is over explaining and talking for 2 hours and the avoidant person is just sitting here pretending to listen because they just want it to be over. Let's just get back to the happy times. I don't really want to go deep with you. Okay? So a lot of you guys are finding yourselves in these dynamics. So you're like, how do I heal this? I don't like this. How do I heal this? Well, first you have to be aware that you actually have wounds in the first place. But because so many of us run from childhood, we lie to ourselves. We don't even recognize that we have a lot of trauma from childhood. We think it was normal. We thought it was typical. What do people say? Oh, how was your childhood? Oh, I had a typical childhood. Well, I guess typical was traumatic because a lot of us keep saying typical, but then when I have a conversation, it's a lot of abuse. And so it's really quite sad through my data collection, through all the people that I've talked to, that typical is traumatic. You know? So when people say typical, what does that mean? You know? So sit with yourself real quick. Write down in your journal, if you got your journal, what was my childhood really like? If I'm being honest, if I'm not bullshitting, if I'm not wearing this mask, if I'm not trying to put on and try to make it seem like it was something that it wasn't, if I'm really getting down to the nitty gritty. Yes, there was beautiful moments, but what about the duality? What about the parts that you don't talk about? Let's write that down because those are the parts that are needing to be expressed. Those are the parts that become super anxious when you're in a relationship. Those are the parts that don't want to be seen. So you try to walk on eggshells until you finally explode because it's really painful and depressing to pretend to be somebody that you're not. And you've been doing that for quite some time. You've shown glimpses and glimmers of who you are. And there is versions of you that you show. This is you. But there's also another version of you that is unhinged. There's also another version of you that's suppressed. There's also another version of you that's scared. There's also another version of you that is angry. There's also another version of you that's numb, that needs to be angry, but you're walking around like a wet blanket because you don't think that you deserve to be angry. You're actually scared of your anger. And it's that very idea that keeps you in these situations and toxic situations with people because you don't say shit. And the people that find you, they know that you're not going to say shit. And so essentially people use you as the punching bag the same way that your mom and dad did when you were little because you don't say shit, you don't check nobody, you have zero boundaries, so you benefit. You're a benefit for somebody who wants to use somebody to take their pain out on because you're not going to say anything and you're still going to be my friend, even though deep down you're building resentment. Deep down, you're starting to like, I can't stand this. Deep down, when you're not with that person, you're always gossiping about that person or having all these big emotions. You do get angry, babe. You just don't get angry in the moments where you should. You just get angry by yourself. You just keep telling yourself that you're not angry at all. Meanwhile, wondering why you're walking around suppressed and depressed all the time and not waking up with a zest for life, feeling excited because you get your boundaries crossed every day, which is sending a message that you don't matter. You're sending a message that your feelings and how you feel don't matter, which is the same messaging that you got in childhood. Don't you see how you're perpetuating the same traumatic, toxic abuse that you went through in childhood because you think it's what you deserve? This is why you constantly attract partners that remind you of mom, remind you of dad, and remind you that you always have to jump through hoops and you're never enough to just get the love that you've been craving since you were little. You always got to do this and do that and put up with all this bullshit. But no, you don't. That's just the story that you're telling yourself. I see your question. I'll get to it in a moment, Miss Sophia. I'll get to it in a moment. So you have to really look at it. What's the truth? Why do you feel like this is what love is? Why don't you have the tools to just communicate how you're feeling? Why do you blow up? Why don't you have the tools to communicate and regulate your emotions? Why do you just disappear? Because a lot of people think, oh, when you're like this and you're screaming, oh man, they're so dysregulated. But guess what? The avoidant partner that just sits here when the other partner's screaming and they're just on their phone, or they just go like this when the person's upset and they just do this. That's also dysregulation, babe. It just looks different. It just looks more acceptable. It just looks more poised and like you got it together. But doing this when someone's speaking to you, when someone is someone that you supposedly love, someone that you care about is showing you that they're really upset and they need some help, and you just do this. That's weird. What are you talking about? You don't mean to tell me that that's not some form of dysregulation? Nah. It's just because it looks a little bit better. It's a little more acceptable in our society just to be numb and suppressed and just walk around like this, because this is what we do, and this is why they give you a pill. Here you go. Oh, you're sad and depressed. Here you go. Here's this. Oh, we don't need to talk about why. No, that couldn't help. And if we do talk, we're going to have you in here for 5 years, not still getting to the root, and you're going to be over here in therapy, still more confused than when you started. Yeah, you have someone to talk to, but what's the solution, babe? Like, what are we doing here? It's been 5 years and I'm still doing the same shit. I still don't feel empowered. I still don't feel excited. And this is where a lot of you guys hire me. This is where a lot of you guys book calls with me. And I'm always so astounded and astonished that you're like, wow, I've been in therapy for 5 years and we've never gotten to this root. And I'm like, no, that's either someone is not doing their job or they don't want you to get to the root because your money is more important than your liberation. But for me, I don't want to talk to you. There's no way I could talk to you for 5 years about the same shit over and over. I'd be like, listen, you have a mother wound because your mom did not give you love growing up, and she projected a lot of her own insecurities onto you, and you feel responsible for your mom, and you think that this is admirable to be codependent with your mother. This is why you never check your mom and why you still feel so depressed, because you keep showing up with mom even though you're a grown ass adult, and you keep allowing mom to disrespect you, and then you wonder why you're upset and why you allow other people to disrespect you because you put mom on a pedestal and you've never put yourself on that pedestal and recognize that you deserve respect, especially from mom. That's why you're still not feeling good, because even though you know that this is wrong, what are you doing to integrate it? So for me, the homework is go have the conversation with mom. I don't need you to do another journal prompt. We'll do some journal prompts. We're going to talk about it, but the homework is going to be go have the conversation with mom, because how long are we going to intellectualize that you need to have this conversation? If you're going to choose to continue to have mom in your life, you have to have this conversation. You have two options. You either go no contact. And then you say, okay, this is not a safe space because I've tried to have the conversation and mom doesn't hear me and she's very abusive and I feel very triggered. And so until I can get to a place where I don't give a damn about what mom says, until I can uninstall the buttons that mom installed, which is why she knows how to trigger me so easily, I need to be away from mom. Or if you're going to keep mom and that's not an option and you want mom in your life, you are going to have to speak up, because at some point it's not mom. Mom has been treating you the same way that she's been treating you since you were younger. And if you don't say nothing about it, you are giving her a message that it's okay. You remember that messaging that our parents gave us in childhood? Well, we also give them a message by not checking them, by not setting boundaries, that it's okay. You're also giving a message with your silence. You're also giving a message with your inability to check mom because you're so worried about mom's feelings, while all of a sudden, while having a failure to acknowledge how much you are crumbling inside yourself. So please tell me, is the message that mom is more important than you? Is that the messaging that you would come to the conclusion that your inner child is probably feeling right now? Here we go again. Mom is here more important. I hear you guys say it in the sessions as if it's like you have no other choice. And that's how disempowered you are when you come into my sessions. It's really quite sad, but I understand because I've been there and I'm going to tell you about it. That's why my sessions, we can get a lot done in 1 hour if you're ready to really put down the bullshit and recognize how you are holding yourself back. You cannot be in your authentic expression. You cannot live your most highest timeline while constantly being worried about how you're going to impact other people. It doesn't exist. Okay? And you got to keep blaming mom. Mom always does this. Mom always does this. Mom, okay, well, what are you going to do different? We have established that mom is who she is. And if you don't like that, what's up? Yeah, too much empathy without boundaries. No, you don't have too much empathy. You just lack boundaries. You can be as empathetic and loving and everything, but you still can have boundaries and say, man, I love this and I'm so sad about this and I feel for my mom, but I'm also done feeling like shit. I have so much empathy for my mom and I know that she had a rough childhood and I know that grandma and grandpa did a number on her clearly, but when does it end? Who's going to finally be honest enough to say, Mom, I love you and I love you enough to be honest to let you know that you are part of the problem. Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect because this whole time I have had a responsibility to check you. But because of the things and the circumstances in childhood, I felt disempowered. I didn't feel like I had a voice. I felt very threatened, whatever it was. But now, since I've been doing some healing, I've been working with Kristen, I found my voice because Kristen is a throat chakra activator and she helps people step into their voice because she can recognize that the way to your heart is through your truth. And if you're not brave enough to speak your truth, then you're not brave enough to open your heart. And if you're not brave enough to open your heart, then you're not brave enough to have true love. You're not brave enough to have abundance. You're not brave enough to have financial freedom because you're going to have to open your heart in order to have those things. Period. It's because you didn't have your heart open. It's because you don't feel deserving that you're in the place that you're in right now. So if you want to elevate, you're going to have to do something different. So doing something different for some of you is having the conversation with mom. That's the difference. And not trying to get ahead of what it's going to be. Just let it be. If they're pissed, let them be pissed. If they're mad, let them be mad. If they stonewall you, let them stonewall you. And then I need you to go handle it accordingly. I need you to build yourself up and say, damn, here we go. I knew this was going to happen. As soon as I spoke my truth to mom, she stonewalled me. But guess what? This time it's not going to penetrate the same. This time, I'm not going to make myself feel guilty. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to go get some ice cream today. And I'm going to say, good job. You stood up to mom and we are no longer going to feel guilty because no one deserves to disrespect us, especially not mom. Why am I feeling guilty? Because I deserve respect. Make it make sense. This is why we talk about it like this in our sessions, because I need you to say this stuff out loud to make it make sense to me. It doesn't make it make sense to yourself. And then you say that you're ready to step in. I'm ready to be the CEO. You think the CEO is going to be able to be the CEO without telling somebody what they need and what you need to do? I'm ready to own my own business, Chris, and I want to step in and I want to be this life coach. Okay, who are you going to coach, babe? Because it starts with you. Are you going to be able to deliver this same empowering message to someone else when you don't really feel it within yourself? That's why you feel imposter syndrome, not because you're an imposter, because you're not doing the advice and doing the work on yourself the same way that you tell other people to do it. That's why you feel like an imposter, because you're not listening. Your advice is correct. Your guidance is accurate. It's coming from source, but you're too scared to follow it. But you steady pointing fingers on what everybody else should do. Do as I say, not as I do. Does that sound familiar? Sounds like a principle that your mom and dad taught you. Do as I say, not as I do. Sounds like them. Is that how you are? Because you give the best advice, but you don't take it. So are you doing that? Okay, here's a pattern interruption. In case you needed one. Sometimes we have blind spots. Hi, I'm a blind spot. I'm the mirror. Did you need me? Why do we attract addicts? Probably because of our need to be needed. We love to save people, and someone who's an addict definitely is in a low vibration, probably lower than you, and you feel like you can help them, which makes you feel needed, because that's the only reason why you want to be in a relationship, is because you feel like you have to be needed, not just because of who you are and what you just being. You have to be needed. So you subconsciously attract people who need you. Addicts is definitely someone who needs you. So that would make you feel very good and like a purpose. Your purpose is to save them until you realize that they're draining you unless they actually want to save themselves. Next question. Oh, and how do we start to regulate? So breath. We start to learn emotional regulation by first finding our breath. When we find our breath, that sends a signal to our parasympathetic nervous system that we're not actually in danger, because some of you guys' reactions is acting like you are being chased by a lion, because your brain doesn't know the difference between emotional danger and physical danger. Okay? So this is why some of your reactions, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm talking to myself. When I tell you I could go from zero, if I felt threatened by my ex, if I felt like he was cheating, if I felt like something was going to sever this connection, if I felt like I was getting close, because I could feel it. You're about to abandon me, aren't you? You're about to abandon me, aren't you? Oh, I knew this. And I would start packing my shit. I would start packing bags, and I just wanted him to be like, why are you packing your bag? And in the beginning, he did. He would chase me, and I'd be like, oh, okay, you do love me. But then after a while, avoidant will stop chasing your ass after they realize, oh, this bitch is leaving. And you have to realize when you're packing your bags, that's triggering them. That's triggering their abandonment. Avoidants also have a fear of abandonment. So both parties have a fear of abandonment, but the way that they manifest and the way that they act it out is very different. The anxious attachment, they're going to try to grab you like by the neck. They're going to make sure that they control every aspect so that they don't get hurt. Don't look at this person. Don't talk to this person. If you don't have their number, I can't get hurt. If this person's not in our life, I can't. So you try to get a hold of everything. But the avoidant attachment, they're just peeping it. They don't want to get hurt either, but they're used to, I'm telling you, it's a very big characteristic, but they're used to kind of dibbling and dabbling and not having that commitment because they're scared of it. They're fearful of it. And so it's in theory a good idea for the avoidant to have the relationship, but then when the anxious attachment starts getting too controlling, the avoidant attachment is fear of independence. Their fear of loss of independence. So that's why you find a lot of men who have a more avoidant attachment style and a lot of women who have more of an anxious attachment style, because we want it all. I want you. If you could get inside of my pants with me. Oh, let's do everything together. This is how the anxious attachment feels, not because it's healthy to be with the person 24/7, but that's the way that I can feel safe, because if I'm with you all the time, you're not going to cheat on me or abandon me. We're with you. I want you to be obsessed with me. Oh, and it feels so good. And in the beginning, the avoidant does do that. They love bomb the fuck out of you. They give you all these words of affirmation. They want to be with you, texting all the time. And you're like, this is what I've always wanted. Yes. And then when it gets too much, they start slowly pulling away. And because you're hypervigilant, because of your trauma in childhood, you know when someone pulls away. You know when someone pulls away even a sliver, bitch. You always used to do emojis when you text me, and now you just don't do no emojis. How come you don't do emojis anymore? How come you just put okay with a period? It just seems really like harsh. Are you mad at me? Do you not like me? Do you still love me? Oh, okay, I'm not feeling love. Let me come up with a random ass argument and then act like I'm going to abandon them just to see if they're going to chase me and make sure. Okay, let me see. I don't know. I'm just mad about this. I just feel like I'm leaving. I just feel like you don't really love me. I don't know. I just feel projection. I just feel like you don't. Because what you want is the reassurance. You want those words of affirmation again. That's what you really want. I know what you're doing, And so this is what I'm saying. When we have these conversations and you talk to me and you say, this and this, Chris, this and this, I say, I hear you, babe. I hear you, but I hear other things that you're not saying. It's a gift. When you guys are telling me the stuff, I'm hearing all the other stuff that you're omitting because you have shame. I'm hearing all the other stuff that you're omitting because you're not aware. I'm hearing all the other stuff that you are not telling me because you're in victim mode. Yep. And I let you, and it's right, and you're right, and you feel it, and I am you. I'm not shaming you. I am you. This is why I'm able to help you. Because I do that. I did that. I did all of it. I would scream at the top of my lungs. I would get hotels. I would drive down the street and just sit in a parking lot and cry. And then I would check my phone. I would turn off my phone and be like, no. And I would turn off my phone and I would be so mad. And then I would get to a place and I would calm down. And then, bitch, if I turned on my phone and there was not a motherfucking text, I'm even more. Whoa. You didn't even text. Bitch, it's been 30 minutes. You haven't tried to get me back? You haven't tried to get me back? This is a test, motherfucker. What the fuck? I don't got no damn text over here talking about baby come back. You don't care about me. And you see, you're the one who mentioned the breakup. You're the one who said you didn't want to do this. You're the one who projected all that shit. And then because they're not chasing you, now you flip it on them and say, see, I knew you didn't want me. That's no. That's some manipulative mind game shit. And you say that you're altruistic. You say that you're all this and that. No, you're manipulative as fuck. And when I started to come into the awareness that I was manipulative, I didn't like it. In 2021, I was like, wait, why am I over here rehearsing what I'm going to say before he gets home? Why am I over here in the house like, no? And I would become aware of it. I'm like, yo, I don't know. Is this like normal or something? Like, is this normal? I'd be over here, no, because I'm just trying to tell you, okay? Like, I don't know what. And then I would stop crying for a second. And then I'd be like, oh, I'd be rehearsing it. And then I'm like, is this normal? I don't know. I'm like, is something up with this? Is this something up with this shit? But what it was is, yes, it is normal for a lot of people because I'm so used to being invalidated by my father. I'm so used to, as soon as I have a problem, my dad telling me I don't, that I'm literally trying to make sure, I guess, that it's like as empathetic as possible so that the person can feel like I really am in pain with this. I really am in pain with it. I really am. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm telling you all these little nitty gritty, ugly details because this is the shit that you leave out when you call your homies and you're like, yo, this and that. No, you don't leave out all this other shit that you're doing. Like, that's wild. You're the one who brought up breaking up. You're the one who left. And then because they don't chase you, now they don't want you. That's a game that you're playing. And when they don't want to play no more, that's when you really feel super abandoned because you realize, like, you are immature. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm acting super immature as fuck. And they're not playing with me no more. And so then they're a mirror to how immature you really are. Even though the avoidant attachment is just as wrong, because all the little bullshit games that they put up with in the beginning that they told you was okay, but it was really dysregulating them, that's what the avoidant is guilty for. You let me sit up here and do this over and over. You told me it's okay. We're in this together. You even talked about all this other deep ass shit that you had no business talking about, rings and getting married, only to let shit hit the fan and say, yeah, actually, I don't like any of this that you've been doing. I'm actually annoyed. I'm sexually disempowered as well, but because of how my sexual trauma manifests as being more promiscuous and this and that, and you are more shy and timid, I look like I'm the one who knows more what they got going on. But really, I have trauma too. Did you think that we weren't mirroring that as well? Oh yeah, we were both mirroring the sexual trauma, even though both of us weren't not talking about it. This is why the sex was very toxic, but also good, because that was the way that we connected, because it was very emotionally unavailable, even though we thought it was super connected. It wasn't. We didn't look in each other's eyes, and if we did, it was really uncomfortable. You didn't really want to be seen, and neither did I. We just like connecting for that moment. As soon as we both had that climax, it was like a disconnection. I could just like roll over and go to sleep like it was nothing. Once the tension was released, thank you for your services. It was very transactional. Who am I speaking to? Who am I speaking to? Yeah, I know. I'm speaking to someone. This is a paradigm, you guys. This is a paradigm. You think you see what I'm saying? You think this is like, you think I'm just speaking to you because I haven't, no, I'm speaking to you because I've done the work and I'm sat in this shit and I'm looking around and I'm not just listening to people. You guys know I'm observing everything now. I'm hearing what people are saying now. I'm tapped in. I don't have no choice. And so when people are talking, I'm just like, okay, I know where you're at. I can tell right away where someone's at in their journey as soon as they start talking. I'm like, oh, okay. They're still here because I can see it in myself. Oh, you're still here and just wanting to talk about your pain. You don't want to actually change it. You just want someone to listen and validate why you are tolerating the bullshit. You don't want to actually hear the truth. You know those friends that come to you and they're like, God, they do it again. He's doing it again. And then you're like, well, you're tolerating it. This is like the fourth time that you said that they've cheated on you. And then they say, no, but like, I think, and when you give them that real shit where, you know, you shouldn't really be able to, you're in the corner at this point with what I just said. Did you not just hear what I said? You're tolerating it. You're tolerating it. Yes, we have established that this person's a cheater. They clearly are not loyal. They're clearly not where they said they were. It's not adding up. But the problem is you can't accept that what they said in the beginning is not matching what they're doing right now. You can't accept that you got bamboozled. You can't accept that you fell for their words. And you also can't accept that this is what you think you deserve. So instead of complaining about it every week, why don't you just go ahead and say that you cheated again? And I'm going to accept it because you already know, you and I both know you're going to take them back, because we know when we're going to take them back. We know when we're not done. We know when we're going to keep going going through it because we have a very high tolerance for emotional bullshit because your dad or your mom conditioned you to have a tolerance because you needed to have a tolerance to survive in your childhood. How the hell were you going to survive in childhood if you didn't have a tolerance? But now where you fucked up is you think that you still have to have this tolerance in relationships that you don't have to be in. But you over here putting yourself in shackles with somebody for the first week when you meet somebody because you feel responsible for saving them. And you also have such desperation when you meet somebody in such a low vibration that you'll take whatever you can get. Anybody who's going to give you attention, I can work with it because you have the ability to see the beauty in people. So you can change them because you're a light, you're an empath. But the problem is that you don't see it. They do. They see your power. And the narcissist, the avoidant, loves feeding off your power. They love feeding off your power. And you're so disempowered that you just give it away on a silver platter. You're the best. I love you. Jumping through hoops, kissing their ass, knowing damn well they're not treating you how you want to be treated. Ignoring all the red flags because you want to be in a relationship so bad. Not a healthy one, just a relationship. Does that sound like your mama? Does that sound like your mama? Your mama always had to have a man. Even if it wasn't a good man, she just always had to have a fucking man. And it pissed you off because she always prioritized that bullshit man over you. And guess who's still doing it? Guess who's still prioritizing that bullshit man over you? Answer the question. Guess who's still doing it? Guess who's still prioritizing that bullshit man over you? It's not mama, if you need a hint. You see how the patterns? You see that was a pattern disruption. See, you can't see it because you got blind spots, but I'm the mirror. What's up? This is why I got on, because you guys know I usually don't get on Tuesdays. You're welcome. Ooh, clairsentient. That means you felt it. Whoever just said they got the chills, that means you're clairsentient. Clairsentient. Look it up. You're welcome. This flow is really good. I love when the flow is flowing. This is what happens when you do breath work, when you do a walk, when you meditate and actually take time for yourself in the morning. Ooh, you got space to flow, baby. All right. So the boredom that you're feeling, babe, the boredom is that you're not in alignment. You're busy. You got stuff going on, but you're bored as fuck because you're not in alignment. You're so bored. Yes, I can save it on YouTube, Jazz. I can. Thank you. I will. All right. I can save it. I'll save it. Everyone's been telling me to do that. I don't know why I don't, because I feel like it's all over the place. And I feel like with my YouTube, I want it to be like more organized. Like this is what the video is about. And I don't feel like people will watch this. But if you think that people would watch these live streams, I will post them. But I have like literally, you guys, like hundreds of live streams. You guys know I've been doing live streams for 3 years, like, and they're all like this. Okay. So, bored. You're bored as fuck because you're not in alignment and you're so ready. You're so ready. You're so ready to be doing what you want to do. Look at this energy. You know this shit don't lie. You guys know if you would be able to tell if I was bullshitting. You would. You'd be able to tell. The fact that this is, what day is it? Tuesday? I don't even know what fucking day it is. Okay? The only reason why I knew what day it was in corporate America is because I was like, I hate Mondays and I love Fridays. I don't even know what day it is because every day when you're doing what you love, it just shit be blending together. But the fact that this is a Tuesday morning, I'm working. And thank you for booking the call. For those of you who booked the coaching calls with me, thank you. I'm working. You see what I'm saying? This is me coming on here. I'm giving free coaching and then also connecting with you guys. And then those of you who feel called, you book a call with me. I'm working. It's lead generation. I'm working right now. I'm having a blast talking with you guys. I'm being of service. I'm giving things away for free because I think it's really important to also just talk and help people, not always wanting to get something in return, just helping to help. And you guys know, if anybody knows, some of y'all, I've answered some DMs and emails that definitely should have been $100 call. But there's sometimes that Spirit's like, listen, this person doesn't have the money. They are in a crisis right now. You're not doing nothing. You have the capacity. Help this person out. This could be a choice between someone doing something real stupid and you talking someone off the ledge. Hey, if that's my job, what the fuck? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? There's been times where Spirit has put it on my heart where I've seen someone really nasty in the comments, right? You know, you see somebody and they're just hateful, nasty. And Spirit has said, DM them right now. I'm like, what? Who is this? It's just a random person on Instagram. DM them right now. Ugh, okay. So I'll DM them. Hey, you clearly want some attention, even if it's negative attention. So I'm here to give you some attention. What's up? What's on your heart? Why are you being so nasty? And I'm telling you, at the end of these random ass conversations, it was a guy in Greece, by the way. It was a guy, he was young, 21 or something. A guy in Greece. And by the end of the conversation, he was crying, telling me about how his mom, he never felt seen. His mom never did it. And I was like, damn, from that negative ass, projecting ass comment, trying to act like you're big and bad in the comments to this. People are just hurting. And I see past that shit. And when you have done the work to get that thick skin and you don't judge yourself, when people judge you, you just see it as a cry for help, babe. Like, you're judging me and okay, let's talk about it. What's up? What's going on in your life? This is called a hand pan for anybody who's asking. So yeah, Tuesday. I just taught myself. Because I've always wanted to play music and I want to do it and I want to play and I don't want, like, I just want to do it. And this is what I'm doing. Everything that I wanted to do, I'm doing. Why? If I love music, if I love creating, if I love writing my book and journal, which we'll get to on the end, you guys need this. And this is the help that you need. Help me, support you. $40 for both of them. Here's the book, Uncomfortable Truths, I wrote. And this is going to be like this is going to be like the uncomfortable truth that you guys liked the other day. You don't want them. You want them to want you because your abandonment wounds from childhood made you hyperfixated on being chosen. This is from my book. If you guys didn't know, I wrote and published a book last year. I'm going to do a whole book launch because it came around the time of my dad passing, a hurricane hitting. I was like, damn, y'all really don't want me to get this book out. Damn, really? Okay, so now my friends are like, no, you still need to do it. We never got to celebrate you. Like, this book came out on 10/10 and no one really knows about it. I stopped promoting it because, like, my dad was dying, you know. I was just like, but now I'm like, no, I still deserve it. I work hard and this is what I do. I downplay shit. I literally published 2 books simultaneously while in the hospital with my dad having open heart surgery. Okay? That deserves something to be celebrated, and I'm going to celebrate and start promoting myself again because I created this so that I could have passive income, so that I can continue healing and being with my dad and doing things that I love, not always working. Even though I love what I do, I don't always want to work to make money. Sometimes my next thing that I'm working on is I'm teaching myself to DJ. I bought a controller. Instead of me spending the money on sugar and sweets and all the stuff that I kept coping with, I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy this, and I'm gonna save up and I'm gonna get something that I actually want to invest in myself. So instead of buying this, which is a temporary, makes me feel good, I've been wanting to do this forever, you guys. You don't know how big of a dream this has been for me. I fantasize, daydream about being at this just being creative and mashing genres and just making people feel good and feeling the vibe. I already know because of how intuitive and how tapped in I am going to be a fucking amazing DJ. I'm going to create conscious parties, everything. I have big visions for what I want to see in the world. I want to see something different in the world, then I'm going to be it. I pretend I'm DJing too. Me too. So, I want to create music. I'm going to go, so today on my agenda, I'm going to go to a workout, and then I'm working right now. I'll say, I want you guys to see my day. This is my day when I make the life how I choose, when I quit corporate America in 2018, which, by the way, I have a podcast, you guys. Listen to my podcast. I tell you how I did all this, all these questions, all this stuff that you guys ask, narcissistic abuse, how I went no contact with my dad and took my power back, how I forgave my dad and took even more power back, how I discovered my anxious attachment, how I took the leap of faith and quit corporate America and started making my own money. And yes, like, I didn't have all this money. It's not like I had all these millions of dollars saved up. I had to budget, and I had to be like, yo, I gotta believe in myself. It's now or nothing. All right. This is what I would do every day. Even though it wasn't New York. Hold on, I'll show you. I would listen to this. No joke. But yeah, guys, I was just like, and I was not nervous. So anyway, listen to my podcast, listen to the stuff. I have a whole series on how I got to this point. I'm going to be releasing season 3 in March, the new year, spring equinox. 321 is the new year. It's not January. This is why you haven't been super inspired to do all this shit in January, because it's not the new year. We're in the dead of winter. This is not inspiring. Spring is inspiring. Warmth, flowers, colors, blooming. That's when we're inspired, okay? So stop playing. 321 is the new year. So I want you to start making your vision boards now as we're getting into March, and I'm going to be doing March Madness, all right? March starts on Saturday. I'm going through a detox. I'm giving up the plant. I'm giving up caffeine. I'm giving up refined sugars. I'm doing Ramadan. I am challenging myself. Enough is enough. I know that there's certain habits that are still holding me back, holding my energy back, that everything's in my bio, you guys. Everything's in the bio. Coaching calls, podcasts, books, journals, music, everything that I've done to help you guys is in the bio. And I really appreciate you guys supporting me. Every time you buy a book, every time you get a journal, you are helping me live my dream. And I believe in this. Okay, so this journal is going to be the meat and potatoes. A lot of you guys want to know how to heal. You're tired of your own BS. You're tired of your own, going through these loops and dating the same thing. You got to start getting comfortable with these uncomfortable questions. Oh, look at the question that I just answered too. Okay, look. Focus on your potential. Can you think of a time where you fell in love with someone's potential? What did you see in this person that you failed to see in yourself? This is the journal question, okay? I need you to sit down. How many of you can answer this question? Can you think of a time where you fell in love with someone's potential? Yeah, I think we all can. What did you see in that person that you couldn't see in yourself? So I want you to sit. And when you think about this person that you idolize, when you think about this person that you put way up on this pedestal for some reason that you just did, what did you see in them? What did you see in them that you did not see in yourself? Because I'm telling you, whatever you saw in them was a projection of what was already in you. A lot of you fell in love with yourself. A lot of you fell in love with yourself. The projected version of who you are, your heart, and you got upset when they didn't match your energy. Okay? So let's give you an example of the book. Aw, let the tears out, babe. All right. You weren't honest about your needs with this person because deep down you knew they couldn't meet them. These are the uncomfortable truths that a lot of us don't want to sit with. You weren't honest about your needs with this person because deep down you knew they couldn't meet them. So you settled. So you shrunk. You tied your worth to them choosing you, and when they didn't, you felt worthless. This is why attempting to fill your voids with someone else's love doesn't feel stable. Did you hear me? You tied your worth to them choosing you, and when they didn't, you felt worthless. This is why attempting to fill your voids with someone else's love doesn't feel stable. So both, you can get both of these. They have sold out on TikTok Shop, but if you look at the link in my bio, I believe that you can get them other places. I can't say it on here, but yeah. They have sold out on TikTok Shop. I have to replenish and get another shipment, but you can also get them on Amazon. Okay, so yeah, I'd appreciate it. Go ahead and grab both. Dive in. These needs to be your homework, your stuff for the next couple months. Get through this journal. There's a lot of journal prompts. I just kept going and going. Okay, here's another one. You are deserving. So each journal prompt has a mantra that is subliminal, because subliminals really help me in my journey. So I'm doing little things that really help me, and so subliminal messages really helped me. Great books. I got them. Oh, thank you, G. So you are deserving. So that's the mantra. You are deserving. I want you to see it. You are deserving. You are deserving. Why am I so uncomfortable receiving love? That's the first question. Why am I so uncomfortable receiving love? This journal is unique because I'm not asking you the first question. Are you uncomfortable receiving love? I already know that you are. I already know that you are. If you're interested in this journal, if you vibe with me, I already know that you are. This is why this journal is intuitive. The journal is intuitive because it's written by a very intuitive person. So why am I so uncomfortable receiving love? That's the first question. How does it feel in my body physically when someone goes above and beyond for me? Because for me, I feel very like, I just want to shrink. I just want to disappear. When people do this, when people have done surprise parties or gone out of their way, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why did they do this? I don't have anything for them. I feel like shit. I just go through all these things and I'm like, is this normal? In my head, it's normal. But now I'm realizing it's not normal. I love all these answers. See, you guys are ready to answer it. So go head over to the Jungle, Amazon, and grab your journal. Grab your journal. You can do one or both. So this is the awareness. So you can't heal what you're not aware of. So the first book, The Uncomfortable Truths, a book for breakthroughs that I wrote, this is just all one-liners. Because I have ADHD, it's really hard for me to read a whole bunch of stuff. I end up reading it over and over. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop feeling bad about having ADHD, but I'm also going to create a book that I would actually read. I'm not going to feel like I have to create this book that has all these words when I like the Cliff Notes. Give me the motherfucking Cliff Notes. Okay, I have ADHD. So give me the Cliff Notes. And this is what I'm talking about when people are saying they're in 5 years in therapy. Okay, here's the root. Here's the root. You can purchase, you can do whatever you want, Tarot Queen. Here's the root cause, okay? You think you're needy for having needs, so you stay quiet about your needs. But in the end, okay, wait. So ready? You think you're needy for having needs, so you stay quiet about your needs, but then end up getting upset because your needs are not being met. Did you hear me? You think you're needy for having needs. So you stay quiet about your needs, but then end up getting upset because your needs are not being met. I need you to read it like this because I need you to see that this is what you are doing. So this is why I have it like this. It's just like Cliff Notes. You stay distracted all the time so you don't have the space to think about what you really want in life. When in reality, you know exactly what you want, but your fear of the unknown and lack of belief in yourself is keeping you stuck. You stay distracted all the time so you don't have the space to think about what you really want in life. When in reality, you know exactly what you want, but you fear the unknown and lack of belief in yourself is keeping you stuck. You need this book because some of you guys are not aware that it's you. So then once you have the awareness and you be crying and you're just like, damn. Oh, it's, I think that was 154, babe. No. I don't know. I thought it was 154. I'll find it. Oh, 52. Okay, page 52. And thank you for getting the book, Caroline. You're hyperfixated on their visions and dreams as a distraction from your own. You believe more in them than you. You're hyperfixated on their visions and dreams as a distraction from your own. You believe more in them than you. Okay? So then you read that and you're like, oof. Then you open your journal and you're like, all right, focus on your potential. Isn't that crazy how I just turned right to the page? Can you think of a time? Okay, wait. Speak your truth. Name a situation from your past where you really wanted to speak about something, but you didn't. Why didn't you? Does this still bother you today? Some of you would be really surprised on how much you've lied to yourself and said, I'm over it. Don't worry about it. And then we talk about something. And then your reaction when you're telling me in our sessions is as if it happened yesterday. And I say, wait a minute, babe. When did this happen? And you say, this happened 22 years ago. You are reacting as if it happened yesterday. This is how much it shows you that you're not just sweeping the shit under the rug. Your reaction, the anger that you guys get with some people is so unproportional. The anger that some of you guys have with your children, 0 to 100. You have zero patience for your children. Why? Because no one had patience for you. So, and it's not the higher self. It's not you. I know that you want to be a more patient parent. It's the resentful inner child that's still not being seen and validated by you that is popping off. Because why the fuck am I supposed to be giving this little child all this patience and this child is over here cussing me out and doing this and I'm supposed to be getting to the root of it and having conversations when no one did that with me? Well, newsflash, that's what being a parent is. A parent is supposed to teach the child how to regulate, how to understand what's going on. A 2-year-old, a 4-year-old is not supposed to just shut the fuck up, go to your room and understand it. But this is exactly how we treat 4-year-olds. I'm 4 years old. What the fuck? What am I feeling? I need you to tell me. Hi, honey, I know that you're upset, but sometimes we're not going to always be able to get what we want. So mom knows how much you want ice cream right now, but mom also knows that you are lactose intolerant. And every time we do this, you get a tummy ache. And I know that you can't rationalize this right now, so I'm going to do it for you. So you can cry and you can be upset because I know that you not getting this ice cream is really big to you. It's really big to you, even though it's really small to me because I'm an adult and okay, but you're 4 years old. So let me get on your level. Let me get on your level and give you this safety and this love and support to let you know that even though you're still not going to get the ice cream because I know what's best for you right now in your tummy, the fact that you're upset about not getting what you want is a very normal reaction in life. And I want to normalize this right now. So that way, when you get older and you don't get that job, you're just like, okay, this hurts. I mean, I wanted it, but on to the next. Something better is coming for you, like dinner. Dinner is going to make you feel a lot better, okay? You're hungry. I know you're craving it. I'm going to give you some dinner, and I know that you want some sweets. We're going to get some watermelon. We're going to get this. This is going to be, trust me. Just trust me on this. Trust mama on this. All right? And because I've done my own work and I've allowed myself to cry when my child is crying, yes, I'm going to get dysregulated. Yes, I will have moments where I'm like, oh my God. But I also will have moments where I'm going to be able to allow them to cry, and it's not going to drive me up the wall. I see so many parents that are like, and I'm like, mama, dad, just let them. It's okay. You're being codependent because you're so worried about society. Children have a space here, and children's space is not to be like this. We need to stop expecting children to do what the fuck we can't do. Okay, you want this child to be okay with not getting what they want and handle it like an adult, but then the moment that you get rejected by a person, you're over here losing sleep for 5 days in the bed, depressed, thinking that you're about to jump out the window. So you want them to handle rejection, but you can't. Okay, babe, it seems like you're projecting onto your child. You have more of a reason to be able to handle your emotions than they do, if you want me to be honest. You've had more time to be able to regulate, if you want me to be honest. The 4-year-old is depending on you, and the tools that you're giving them is to scream and get mad. And then you wonder why your kid is bad in school. No, they're acting like you. So, I can't stand when people call children bad. And then you don't want to look in the mirror. No, they're not getting attention from you because you're overworked. I'm not saying that you're doing it on purpose, but the reason why this kid keeps getting up and interrupting the class is because they're not getting no fucking attention at home. And they want any attention, even if it's negative attention. I want to know that someone sees me. That's why a lot of kids do what they do, because we need to be seen. We need to be validated. And so fuck it. You always are going to call me bad and you're not going to actually get to the root of why I'm behaving this way. Then I'll be bad. I'll be bad. I'll lean into it then. Fuck. At least you're labeling me something because otherwise you're not paying attention to me at all. I like when you yell at me because at least we're connecting. I like when you yell at me because at least we're connecting. And then you wonder why people cut, and you wonder why people pull their eyelashes out, and you wonder why people like getting tattoos, because it makes them feel like they're alive. Because when you get ignored and you don't have any sense of connection with your parents, you can feel dead. You feel numb. So this is why people do shit. Am I alive? Fuck. We need love. We need connection. This is why we crave it so deeply. And a lot of us think that it's just sexual. And this is why we are more drained, because really what we're seeking is emotional connection. And you confuse the two. You need both usually for this to be good. You don't want just the physical. This is why you feel even more empty sometimes after you do that. And it sucks, because what you really want is this. You confuse the two. This is going to be so much better when you feel safe with this, babe. You're going to be so much more open and just like, yes, when you feel like the person that you're giving it to can actually hold you, cares about you, respects you, loves you, is not judging you. You're going to be able to have much deeper releases than you've ever imagined through this. You haven't even scratched the surface, some of you. You haven't even scratched the surface of what you're able to really tap into because you've been so disconnected from yourself. Therefore, you've attracted people who've been disconnected. So imagine two people who are fully engaged, fully connected to them, fully present. Whoo, it's going to scare you the first couple times. It's going, you're going to be like, golly, what? I don't know, I'm supposed to be doing this. And then hopefully you have an amazing partner who's like, no, keep going. I see you. You got this. Let's go. Like, yes, keep going. It's okay. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to pop on here real quick because clearly I needed to give a message to somebody, okay? I just posted a video, so go check it out. I give you guys some steps. Thank you for those of you who are supporting me. Grab the book, grab the journal. I will be doing an official relaunch in the spring because I deserve to. I wrote 2 freaking books simultaneously in 90 days while a parent was dying in the hospital. did not give up, kept going, brought my laptop to the freaking ICU while my dad is incapacitated and I'm over here like, this is every reason to quit, but there's something telling me that like just to keep going, and this is a very good reason to quit right now. And then in comes Hurricane Milton on the exact day of my book launch. This seems like an even more reason to quit because I literally don't even have power, but something told me, nope, still launch it. You still got this. You put this work in, and you put a work in, and you this is going to be forever. Just because you wrote it doesn't mean it's forever. I can relaunch this every single year if I want to. So I'm going to do a party. Hi, Allie. Hi, guys. I'm going to do a party, and I'm going to do this because I'm proud of myself. And there is some typos, and there's some things in here. It's not perfect. It's self-published, self-edited. So please judge me if you want to, but I'm not judging myself anymore. I was delirious when it came to the editing, but I also learned that I got to give myself at least like 30, 45 days before the actual launch date to start the editing. But this is what you don't know until you try. And I was so scared to actually, I didn't think I was smart enough to do this book. I was like, I'm too stupid. I know that I'm creative enough, but I'm too stupid to actually go through the steps to publish it. That's what I said to myself. And so for 2 years, I just thought about it, talked about it until finally I got so uncomfortable. I got so uncomfortable with my finances that I was like, fuck, okay, finally, I'm just going to write this book. I know this is going to be the passive income, but I'm so scared. I'm just going to figure it out. And I don't know, I'm just so annoyed. And I just went one step at a time. And I just asked people, I'm like, okay, slow it down. How do I do this? And I just took time with myself and I wrote out all the steps. And now I know how to publish a book. It wasn't the best. It was messy. It wasn't the most seamless. But it's not supposed to be. Now I learned. I gave myself a chance to fail. And I actually succeeded. And some people would say, oh, you have this and you have I could never put this. You have typos and this and that. Okay, well, show me your book that doesn't have any typos. Oh, you don't have one. Okay. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. Thank you, Tarot Queen. So I'm very proud of myself. I think this book is freaking gold, and I think it is very smart. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the journals, every six prompts, you get a coloring book page. So I'm going to force you to connect with your inner child. So after you're answering 6 questions, it can be a little rough. Every 6 questions, you have this with also positive affirmations and things that I like and just random things like this one. Speak up. And I want you to color and I want you to get creative with it and just go through these questions. Change happens when you're ready. What's an aspect of your personality that you know you want to change and why? Oh, yeah, you're right. Delightful. Yeah, you're wearing blue. You're right. I know a lot of you guys can answer this. What's an aspect of your personality that you know you want to change and why? There's so much shame and there's so much like just fear and bringing up things. This is why when someone says, hey, this is something that hurt me, you're just like, ugh, and you feel so defensive instead of just being like, I'm not perfect and that's okay. And I need my friends to be able to tell me when I'm doing something. Like, okay, perfect example. One of my friends back in the day, like last year, she was like, Kristen, can I tell you something that really like makes me feel invalidated? And I said, sure. And immediately I felt my chest get tight. I'm like, oh my God, she's about to, here we go. I'm not perfect. She's seen something about me and I immediately started going down this whole spiral. Yep, she's going to abandon me. We're not going to be friends anymore. I'm like, and I was aware of it this time. I'm like, damn, I went to a whole fucking spiral. All she just said is that she wants to talk to me. So I immediately started feeling like this. Like I felt like, yeah, but I'm trying to be on this healing journey, right? I'm on this healing journey, so I'm trying to like show up better. So I'm like, sure, yeah, sure. What do you want to tell me? Sure. I'm trying to act like it. Sure. What am I doing? Sure. That's how I really, sure. What? Okay, sure. And then she says, every time that I try to like tell you about something that's happening with me, like I try to tell you something that's hurting me, you bring it back to you. Like you always bring it back to you. And I was just like, in my head. She like, you make it about you. Like, I'll tell you like, oh, my mom did this. You're like, oh, my mom always did that too. And it just makes me feel this. It makes me feel this. And I sat with it and I got like, and I was like, oh, okay. And I'm telling you, it really triggered me because I know I do that. And I was aware. And so it made me feel shame, not only for her telling me in the moment that I did this, I invalidate people. I make people feel this way. But now I'm thinking about all the other motherfucking thousands of conversations that I've done it. And the shame just like washed over me. And I said, can I be honest? Can I have a moment for a second? Because I feel like I'm going to get defensive and I don't want to, because you're absolutely right. right? But I want to just sit with myself. Just please, can I have it? I'm like, please, let me get off the phone, bitch. Come on, because I feel like I'm going to snap at you and be like, motherfucker, you do. I'm about to say. And I knew that. I was about to turn into it. I could feel it. I was about to snap and be like, well, you fucking do it. And I haven't said shit to you. I haven't said anything to you when you do this. And that's what a lot of us do. When someone finally brings it to our attention, then all of a sudden, all the other shit that we didn't like about them comes up. And that's not the time. That's not fair. When I'm coming to you to bring something to you, now all of a sudden I'm apologizing to you. No. You should have brought that shit up when it was bothering you. Don't use the time that I'm creating the space to talk about me, to talk about you. That's the shit that your mama and your daddy did. Every time that you tried to have a conversation with your mama and your daddy, they brought that shit back, and all of a sudden, well, you did this and everything. And you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing as them. Even though it may be a reason, even though there's nothing, what they feel in that moment is valid. What my friend felt was valid because I do that. But the reason why I do that is because I have autism and I'm trying to just relate. I'm just trying to relate to them and just let you know, I know my mom did that too. I'm not trying to take away from your story, babe. I'm really not. And I had to sit with that. And so now I became like hyper aware of it. And I was like, oh, okay. And so when they would talk, I would be in my mind. Listen. Do not talk. Just listen. Listen. Do not talk. Just listen. You better listen. We gonna listen. Just listen. We not listen. We don't listen. Well, and then I'm trying to listen so hard that I'm not even fucking listening. And all of a sudden I'm like, bitch, just chill out for a second. I'm over here trying to focus on not saying nothing, that now I'm tuning out what the fuck you're saying. Shit, hold on, wait. Sometimes I want to be like, hold on, start over. I start dissociating. It's crazy. Anyway, so then I sat with myself and I sat with the uncomfortable feelings and I'm like, I don't like how it feels. And I moved the energy and I was like, I don't like when people tell me this. I hate when someone tells me that I'm wrong or that I do something. I just sat with it because it's real. It's how I feel. I don't like when people correct me. I don't like when people correct me. I immediately feel, even now, if someone says something like, hey, can you not do that? I immediately feel like a weird, and that's because my dad, you could not correct him. You could not correct him. He would immediately give you this look. He could go from, my dad can be like, I'm telling you, my dad can be like, I love you, within seconds. I'd be like, damn, what happened? I thought we was just laughing. I was just trying to, and that's why I would try to do it with my dad. I would try to do it when we were good. I'm like, ooh, dad's in a good mood. I like it. I wish you spent more time with me. Huh? I don't like that you don't show up. Oh, daddy, keep laughing. Why are you not laughing? Dad, why are you not laughing? Daddy, keep laughing, Daddy. Dad, why are you not laughing anymore? And then all of a sudden we're in a fight. You see? I tried so many different ways to try to get through to my father, you guys. I tried so many different ways. I promise you. I tried. Okay? So, yeah. Anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about. That was a whole spiral. But get the journal is what I was saying. I don't know. How did I get over here? What were we talking about? What were we talking about? I don't even know where we were at. I think I was putting on, okay, so let me see. So the ADHD is wild right now. So I'm going to get ready to go because clearly, what? Let's see, what song are we going to leave with today? What song is going to be the clairvoyant? Where's the clairaudient message? Oh, what are the titles? The book that it includes The Uncomfortable Truth, a book for breakthroughs, and then The Uncomfortable Truth, a journal for breakthroughs. So one is just the awareness, and then one is the actual work. So this one is going to wake you up, and you're going to be like waking up on a Saturday, rising on your porch. The birds are going to be chirping, and you're going to say, it's time to read a couple pages of books. And then you're going to say, you're still seeking their validation by staying quiet about how they make you feel. Keeping the peace makes you feel safe from abandonment. And then you're going to think about how you're still avoiding conversations. And then you're going to go like this. Damn it, I just wanted to have a peaceful morning. But, damn. All right? And then you're going to get your journal, and then you're going to integrate. And you're going to start healing. And you're going to realize that you're not supposed to have comfortable moments all the time. You're gonna lean into the discomfort. You're gonna lean into the darkness because you're gonna recognize that you can't get to the real light until you actually go into that real darkness. And a lot of you have been having this false sense of confidence and you don't like it. A lot of you are recognizing that you're only confident when you have liquid courage. A lot of you recognize that you're only confident when you have someone in your DM telling you that you're beautiful. Some of you realize that you're only confident unless you're dressing in a way that doesn't even resonate with you anymore, but you don't think that you're going to get attention if you dress a different way. There's just a lot of ways that you've pretended to be confident, and you don't want to do that anymore. You want to be confident for being exactly who you are, and on the days that you dress to the nines, you want to be confident. And you also want to be confident when you got sweatpants on and a hoodie, because your confidence doesn't come from how you look. Yes, it makes us feel better, but it comes from who you are as a person and being good with that, and knowing that like my person is going to also see me in sweatpants. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's okay if you know, like, you're either gonna meet me in the sweatpants and then be blown away when I get dressed up, or you're going to meet me dressed up and then be okay when you see me in sweatpants, because I'm beautiful both ways. And I'm worthy of love both ways. Okay? Okay. All right, y'all. That's all I got today. I hope you like this free coaching session. Okay? Because that's what it is. A lot of y'all like, how you do it? How you help? Join the lives and you can get some free coaching sessions. Grab the book. Let's do a book club. I really would like to start doing a monthly book club where we meet virtually via Zoom, and you guys put some post-it notes or write or highlight some of the uncomfortable truths, or you start to put the page number on some journal prompts. And then if you want to ask a question, I can help you go deeper in some of them. Let's do a book club, but you got to have a book to do it. All right. So lots of things coming for the new year as I'm starting to become more inspired as we are getting out of this cold season, going into the warm season. Everything with the country is really pushing me to step more in, because what else? I can just sit here and cry and complain about what's going on, or I can fight to be the change. And I'm deciding to fight. That's what I'm put here to do, is fight and be a voice and help lead people to their own liberation, because we are being kept so small in this country right now, not recognizing that we are the power. As soon as we can band together, shit is going to change. And it is. And it's going to be a little more uncomfortable until it gets better. But I'm telling you, it's going to get better. And exactly what's happening was supposed to happen. Just like you individually are in your dark night of the soul, America collectively is also in a dark night of the soul. And a lot more people are waking up, and it's really beautiful. We got this. Okay? So on that note, let's see what we're gonna release here. What we're gonna put on. Let's see. I'm gonna go head out. I'm going to a group fitness class, and then I'm gonna go eat a little bit, and I just have to try. I just got to try. You know, I wasn't really trying earlier. All right, y'all. Well, I love you. I will see you tomorrow. We'll do personal readings tomorrow. All right? Yeah, I know. I love these leggings. All right. Enough. What is that? Okay? I'll see you later. All right? Thank you.